All right, here we are live again. And ready for another roll reveal. This one is reveal number 444. 444, it's this 1956D uncirculated roll. I'll go ahead and pop it under here and get it ready. Looks like a good roll. Alright, well, let's find out what's in here. I'm always excited to do 56D. Although we don't generally find much, there's a much to be found, so we have a lot of repunch mint marks. There are some double dies. There are a couple of OMMs, over mint marks, which is a D over S. So this one is for Penny Hoarder. Let's go ahead and get started with this roll. And here is the first coin. There we go. Get my lighting situated so that it's easier for me to see what's going on. And I don't see anything going on with the first coin. We will check the reverse side on the first 10 coins out of the roll, but then we will stop because 1956 is not known for double die reverses. 1956D, anyway. Not known for double die reverses. We're mainly watching the mint mark and the eye area on 1956D cents. Carl comes up next. That's right, like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. There's a split upper serif. Nice split upper serif on a coin that otherwise has some spotting issue. This is an ender. So this one evidently got flipped with the coin before it at one point in time going into the tube. But this is an RPM. I'm checking the reverse on this one. It has toned down quite a bit because of being on the end of the roll. But an RPM it is. And this one's for Carl's coin number 2. Now coin number 3. This one goes to Eric. And Eric's coin number 3. Oh, that's a nice RPM right there. That's a pretty one. It's got a, looks like a liquidity issue. It's had liquid on the coin at one point in time, stored in moisture. So it's kind of marked up, but it's got a really nice RPM. That's a, what is that, a D over D. Looks like it's probably a D over D rotated clockwise. Wow. Looks like a nice bright red coin when you look at it. All those issues with water and stuff don't appear at first. Hopefully the rest of the coin, the rest of the roll is nicer. Some issues with this particular coin, but that's coin number 3. A really nice RPM on that one. Oh, Crappie Tim, here is coin number 4 in this roll. Coin number 4 appears to be an Ender 2. And probably, I say this one's going to be really difficult to identify, if it's even identifiable, but it is a D over D tilted. The reason I say tilted is because you can see right up here at the top there's a secondary serif right there, and it is underneath this serif. Okay, and you can see a little bit of doubling right in here, and then when you look down here, the serif that's higher up, that's farther north, is the one that is higher in relief, and then the one that is further south is the one that is lower in relief. So you've got this higher serif belongs to this lower serif, and this lower serif belongs to this higher serif. So the two Ds are tilted with one another. This one also shows signs of some water damage. We're getting some nice die varieties out of here. It's just not the best looking coins. That one also has a bit of a doubled eyelid. So this is probably going to be one of our combo doubled eyelid and RPM coins. There's at least two different ones that I know of. In reverse, we show some spots and no doubling. That's for Joe. That's 3 different dies now at the first 4 coins. Mr. Fletcher is up next. And Mr. Fletcher got nothing on the mint mark. Nothing on the eye. That's a piece of plastic sitting on the coin from the tube. Nothing in Liberty. And nothing on the reverse. Now number 6, Penny Hoarder. Penny Hoarder's coin is up next. Let's see what Penny Hoarder gets. Well, nothing on the mint mark or the date. Not a doubled eye. And nothing on Liberty or the area around it. And nothing on the reverse. So that's for Penny Hoarder. Now number 7, Crispy. Well, Crispy up next. It looks like we've had a change in coins. Maybe those first 3 or 4 coins were added to the top of an incomplete roll at one point in time. Because the color of the coins has changed a little bit, and the fact that the spots are gone and the watermarks are gone kind of shows me that we've got a good roll underneath that was stored with a piece of a bad roll. The bad roll had all the die varieties. Let's keep looking. Hello, Ant. Here's number 8 for Sissy. And same die. There's a long slash die scratch running through the 195 of the date. I kind of used as my little self marker for the previous die, just to see where we were with regard to an original roll. And it looks like we have part of an original roll, most of an original roll, coupled with a few coins that were not original to the roll, but most of those happen to be die varieties. So here's Mark T. Mr. Thomas gets the same die again. The exact same die. And now number 10, Deanne. And Deanne gets... well, it's not the same die, but it shows about the same mint mark positioning. Nothing doubled on the mint mark or the date. All else being normal on the obverse, let's check the reverse real quick. There's a little die chip at the end of the upper left wheat. A little bit of grease in that die. keeping that left wheat from striking up all the way. Other than that, just another normal coin. Number 11 now, Malcolm. And number 11 for Malcolm is, well, it appears to be the same die we had for Deanne. How about number 12? Let's look for Joe McBride. Coin number 12. And same die. You've got two different dies with the D that are up close to the 9.5. One die has a slashing die scratch running through the 195. Then the next die has one that appears to be a slanting line down from the bottom of the D. Neither one of them show any signs of a double die or a repunch mint mark. So we keep riding our bike on down the street to see what we get. Hello, Joe. Coin number 13 now, Mr. Surig. No, we've got nothing so far. We got just a couple. There's another of our other die. What we had was a roll that had a few errant coins on the top, and the few errant coins on the top happened to be some pretty nice RPMs, and then as you go down into the roll, the rest of the roll is evidently from a different but original source. Number 14, Mr. Birchman. See what Mr. Birchman turns up with. That's our second different high D die. How about number 15? Eric. And Eric gets, well, that's our second high D again. You see that die scratch, it runs just below the D mint mark. Kind of tells us, you got nothing here, kid. Keep riding your bike. That's nice, Ant. I played around a little bit with Canadian large cents at one point in time. And had a whole box full of them one time. Kind of liked them. Here's our first high D. That's the one that's got the 195 die scratch. So it's going to have nothing else. We may end up with an entire roll left of just these two dies. Crispy? Okay, this isn't either one of those. So this is another die that belongs with the other two. Unfortunately, this one has no more than the other two. It's also a normal one. How should you explain die scratches? Okay, explain it this way. A die and a coin are exact reverse impressions of one another. So a die has sunken in everything that's standing up on the coin. So if you put a scratch into the die, then you mint a coin with it. Your coin is going to have a raised line because the line is sunken in the die. Show them what a die scratch looks like, and they should be good to go. And for anyone watching who kind of caught that but kind of didn't, this little line right here, this little line of mine, is raised on the coin. You can tell because my light is coming in from this direction. So my light is coming in from here. You've got a line that has a raised part. You have the light is on the top and the shadow is on the bottom, so that means it's raised just like this. Light on the top, shadow on the bottom. And so that is raised on the coin. that has to be sunken in on the die. So die scratches are always raised on your coin. Die gouges, die scratches, die dots. And then this is sunken on the coin. You have a raised area, but you have a sunken in area and then a raised area again. Basically what this is like a plow going through here. It plows the metal out of the way and it goes each of the other directions. That's a heavy scratch or heavy hit mark on the coin. Here's another example of something that was placed onto the coin, not on the die. You have your light coming down from the top, of course, so you can tell this is dark on the top, light on the bottom, so it's sunken in on the coin. But let's see. Come here, and there's another mark right there. That mark right there is light on the top and dark on the bottom, so it is raised on the coin. That is a die scratch. That's how you tell die scratches from coin scratches. Now you can see both all over the place here. Those things on of, that's hits on the coin because they're sunken in on the coin. Number 19 goes to Eric. See a lower D on this one, but I don't see anything else. This is not one of our two common dies for this roll. See that thing below the B? That is raised. This right here, that's raised. So that is a mark on the die, as is this right here. You see how it's raised? Those are marks on the die that come through on the coin, so you'll be able to see this on the next coin that we find from that die. Stanley? And this is our first close D. You can see the 195. See that thing right there in the vest? This is also in the die. It's raised here. You can see the light and then the shadow instead of shadow and then light. So the light and then shadow means it's raised on the coin. That is a pickle mark in the die. It's a dent in the die left behind by something. Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher comes up next. He gets the same die again. You can tell it's the same die. Okay, you don't have the same mark over here because that was on the coin. But you do have the same mark here because that's on the die. So that is a die marker. $22 now for Malcolm. And Malcolm will turn up with... Well, it's not either one of our close D's, but it is one of the common ones for this roll. And it is not a die variety, unfortunately. I think this is the one that has the break on the upper left wheat. Nope, guess not. Not one of the best rolls I've seen, but we have come across 3 different die varieties in it. Boat, Mr. Palmer, nothing on the mint mark, nothing on the I, nothing in with God we trust, nothing on Liberty. Well, thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. Having somebody to teach is also very important because I could be teaching nobody, so I can return the favor and appreciation to you that you show up to learn. That's what I like doing. Because I can guarantee you my wife isn't going to listen. And this is a different die altogether. Haven't seen this one yet today, but nothing to see down there. Nothing around the eye area either. Yeah, see, you have people with simple minds and you have people with slow minds. I like teaching people with the simple minds because the simple minds, the ones who are easy to learn, can absorb the information. Ones with small minds, like my wife admits to having, she's like, I don't understand what you're telling me. And it doesn't make any difference anyway. That's right, dear. Go back to watching QVC or Amazon or something. Oh, there's another one. I see this. I mean, this is the major marker I picked out for this particular die. But this one would be good enough. Because you see that one on every coin minted by that die that we passed by here. It's a forensic thing. It's finding clues, matching one to the other. It's like fingerprints. It's like the APHIS fingerprint system. Boy, it would be nice if we had a way of being able to put in every scratch on every coin that we see until it starts identifying individual dies. That would be so cool. We probably could have that. There's our second die. That one with the slant below the D. Yeah, we probably could have something like that. That would work. However, it would take a Mondo computer system to be able to do that. I know that Tim Rathjen said it was possible. Said anything's possible with regard to reading marks on coins. But it's a matter of how much time, effort, and money do you want to throw at the solution. Yeah, they have luster. They're decent coins. There's nothing wrong with the coins. Couple of spots here and there. But they're nice coins. They're just not quite where we want them to be, right? Another one from Malcolm. Let's see what Malcolm gets this time. Yeah, pretty much a lot of the same that we've gotten so far. Once in a while you'll see my finger move across the coins. I do that to change the shadow effect on the coin or change the lighting on the coin slightly. Give myself a slightly different look at the coin so I can try to pick up other things. You know, it'd be nice if the FBI would get involved. It's our government made these things, so our government should be able to answer for it, right? Hey government, what RPM is this? This is from die 287491, 1956D, used in Denver on August 18th, 1956. And there were 179,427 coins minted with this die before it was retired. And there are currently 121 of these coins registered in our database. That would be so cool. Oh, it's possible. It's definitely possible. It's very possible with today's technology. We've got the technology for it. The problem is, who do we have who cares enough to not make a dime doing thousands of hours of work making it happen? And then how much actual interest is there out there in the world to be able to use the information once it's built? I mean, you still have to maintain the integrity of the information. You also have to maintain the server that it's on. with electricity, time, backups, all that sort of thing. And it just seems like for the few hundred of us that are actually interested in the information, we're just not at a point where technology is cheap enough to allow us to do it. Not enough automation in the process either. Way too much manual labor to get that information properly stored so it's retrievable and usable. So, for now, we'll have to go with, yes, it's possible. Probable, no. Definitely not probable. So here's another one of those ones with that little pickle mark below the B. It's raised. You can tell again, we've run into the same die as another coin. And if we had a fingerprint system to be able to read that, we could tell it. Just every single coin we throw into the scope, it would tell us exactly what it is, whether it's an RPM, double die, whatever, and spit out a tag to us saying, oh, this is, see, look, there you go, double eyelid. Well, I rubbed my own. My eye is itchy this morning. And the last one we saw came on the tail of a split serif. This one doesn't have a split serif, so it's definitely a different doubled eyelid. But we do have a doubled eyelid. Oops. I have a wooden desk. My desk has never harmed a coin. DN. Wood is nowhere near hard enough to harm a metal coin. So I tell people, you want to tell the difference between a zinc coin and a brass composition coin, especially from 1982, all you have to do is drop them on a desk. You drop them on a desk, you'll be able to hear the difference between them. Yeah, but what if it's a high-grade coin? It won't make any difference. You're not going to scratch a high-grade coin by dropping it on a desk. It's just not going to happen. The only way you're going to hurt a coin is to hit it with something of equal or greater hardness. And wood is nowhere near as hard as copper. So, yeah. People who say that you can harm a coin by dropping it onto a wooden desk, a clean wooden desk, are incorrect at best. That might be a doubled eyelid, but yeah, it's very, very weak, if it is. Hardness of coins compared to glass? Harder, I believe. Because I don't think glass can scratch a coin. I'm not sure, though. You'd have to go to a chemist or somebody who understands different kinds of glass. Because I would imagine some kinds of glass might be able to harm a coin. But a wooden table is not going to hurt a coin. My desk is it's an ash desk with polyurethane coating. Hand done by yours truly. I didn't get the exact color I wanted. I got the color that was left. That one is a doubled eyelid. I'm just checking to see if it's enough to actually make a difference. Yeah, I guess it could be. I'll leave it sitting out. This is Adam's coin. I'll leave it sitting out for Eric. Take a better look at it and see if he can match it up to anything we already have listed. So I got 5 different die varieties. I've got 5 die varieties total. All of them are different. And then I've got about 3 or 4 other dies that I'm running through. This is one of them. That are all just normal coins. So you see, here's one for Stanley. Stanislav C. It's another one of our first die coins. Not a die variety, unfortunately. A few light doubled eyelids in this roll, and it's entirely possible, I guess. I haven't put a... Now that's not a doubled eyelid right there. That is a scratch. Die scratch. Probably a fourth of the entire roll is this one die. Run across it a number of times. Here's one from Malcolm now. And Malcolm gets... This is one of the slightly lower Ds. This one could be... No, it's not an eyelid. Not one of the eyelid dies. Alright, so that's for Malcolm. Then we got coin number 44 now for Sureg. Sureg's coin number 44 is... Now this is another one of the low Ds. This is the one that could have... Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. If they're that hard to determine, they're not going to be listed. Pretty much. The reason for that is because when it comes right down to it, I'm doing this as a project for collectors. And for collectors to be able to identify what they have. It's not so that we can try to list every fly speck there is on the planet. If it's not something you're going to be able to detect, then I'm not going to bother listing it. Just not going to happen. We want to have this be a fun project for people. Perhaps a lifetime project, but still a fun project. So I'm not interested in trying to create conundrum with fly specks that you may or may not ever be able to identify fully. Alright. Looks like I'm going to run a couple of coins short on this roll. So it looks like I will be issuing credit, unfortunately. I only have 2 coins left, so the last 2 coins, the last 2 spots, will be credited back. This will be Sureg here. And it's die 1 there. And then the last coin in the roll is for Mark. And Mark, yeah, just gets one of the other eyelids there. It's definitely an eyelid. Just hard to tell whether it's going to be a listable one. That's going to be the last coin in the roll, folks. Unfortunately, numbers 49 and 50 are for Bo and Yeoman. I'll get the 2 of you credited back. You'll get credited back, so you'll be able to use those funds on a different roll. This was, it was kind of overall not that exciting a roll, but we did get a few die varieties out of it. A couple of them are really nice. Folks, I'm going to take off here for a little while, and then I'll be right back with reveal number 445. Reveal number 445. I'll probably start that around 1:30 Eastern Time, which will be another 7 minutes. Go over there and wait for me, and I'll be there in just a few minutes. I appreciate it, folks. And for those who can't come back, have a great afternoon.